What to do and not to do after you've been ghosted. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Anthony Spade channel.
Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. I want you to watch the whole video. If you like the video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and press the notifications button if you like red pill content. Okay, today we're going to be talking about what to do and not to do after you've been ghosted. See, when guys get rejected or they get flaked on a date, sometimes people react to it differently. And sometimes the way that you choose to react to it will reflect how you move on. So today I'm going to tell you, whenever you get rejected or whenever you get flaked, how to handle it. First, you have to learn how to cut your losses. Right? That's the first thing you have to learn how to do is cut your losses. You have to be able to face reality. So go ahead and cut it off. That's the number you have to block out of your phone, because it's a numbers game at some point when you start getting flaked. Getting ghosted and getting rejected is something that happens in dating, and it happens when getting to know people. It actually happens more often than success. So understand, this is a regular thing. You're supposed to be numb to getting ghosted. You're supposed to be numb to being rejected. Next, you got to make sure you treat yourself. After you've been ghosted or after you've been rejected, the first thing that you have to do is you have to find a way to make yourself feel better. Go buy you something nice. Go get you something nice to eat. Go look a certain way. You have to boost up your morale, and you have to get your confidence back immediately. You can't sit around and dwell on it, because if you sit around and dwell on it, the thought process will stick in your head and you'll start to hate everything around you because you've been rejected. So what you got to do is, as soon as you go through that disappointing feeling, you have to step out and instantly go treat yourself to make yourself feel better, so it helps you move along. Next, call one of your friends and talk about it. All right? The best thing to do, and it helps a lot of people, is call somebody that you can vent to, so they can tell you I told you so, and then you guys sit on the phone and talk about how women are changing and why women play games and why women do this. It's good to vent, but you only want to do it for that day. You don't want this thing to carry out for 3 or 4 days. Instantly call somebody to vent to get it off your mind, because it helps get it off your conscience. The moment it gets off your conscience, the moment it stops becoming stress, and you're able to desensitize the situation. Next, you got to look on the bright side. All right? On the bright side of it is you dodged the bullet. That's one thing that you have to know, is that you dodged the bullet. So now on the bright side, it gives you an opportunity to meet somebody else. It gives you an opportunity to better yourself and take a deeper look at yourself and say, all right, where could I have been right at? See, a lot of you guys, right, get flaked because you messed up on the phone or you messed up at the text messages. You show so much signs of desperation that there was no interest to it. You have to understand, she has a lot of guys that have said the same thing that you said. Most women have a lot of guys that want to treat her better than what you wanted to treat her. So you didn't oppose as a challenge enough. So you have to look at the bright side. You look at the bright side. You have a chance to learn from that situation that's going to help you better yourself. That's the best thing that happens to a man after he's been rejected or after he's been ghosted, is the knowledge that he gains from it. What you don't do is call her over and over again, telling her how bad of a person she is. That's one thing that you don't do. And the reason why you're not going to do that is because during the dating phase, most women are not going to take it personal. Only a desperate man is going to take it personal. You can't do that. When you start calling and you start text messaging her, nothing's getting accomplished here. Nothing is getting accomplished, because believe it or not, that's what a woman's going to deal with all the time. A woman's going to always deal with a guy that gets mad whenever she doesn't want him. That's going to be a normal thing. This is why women, when they flake, they go ahead and just block you completely because they know that you're going to react like that. So the reason why you don't want to call her over and over again, because chances are nowadays you're going to already be blocked. When she get around to flaking you, this is a feeling that's been bottled up, that she feel like she set the date just to keep you from asking over and over again. So if you know, like, you did a confirmation call where you called to make sure that you guys were still going on a date and then you got flaked, look at how everything builds up. Do not retaliate by calling her over and over and over again. It shows a desperation trait, but you got to realize more men are going to do that. She's going to be numb to that. So it ain't even no point of even calling her or texting her, telling her how much of a bad of a person she is, because she knew you was going to do that before you did it. Next, don't go running around telling any and everybody your problems that you having with women. Anybody that's going to stop and listen, do not stop and start telling your business to any and everybody. That's what a lot of people do. This sets you back. And the reason why it sets you back is because a lot of people don't know the person that you're talking about. They don't know that girl. They don't know what you and that girl talked about. They're going to hear your story, but it still is not going to have an emotional connection to it. Telling other people your problem is like an inside joke that they don't know about. So don't go running around telling strangers or waiting for a person to talk to so you can tell them your problem. You run across people in life, that's what they do. Everybody comes across very friendly. The most friendliest people are going to always be the ones that get close to you, warm you up real nice and gullible, and then they spring all their problems onto you. And that's what a lot of you guys do. You find any and everybody to talk to about women, especially another guy that's been going through some bad things with women. All right, when you get ghosted, you can't do that. You cannot talk to any and everybody. You find that one friend that you could talk to, vent to them, and get it over with, wake up the next day and move on. Next, do not try to reschedule. If you get flaked on and you get ghosted from a date, do not try to reschedule that date. Let's say she hasn't blocked you yet. Or maybe she's telling you, I apologize, this came up and that came up. All right, don't fall for that. Whatever you do, you have to move on from the situation, because she did ghost you and she may have tried to catch up and she may have felt bad. And now everything that she's telling her is just to make you feel better. But do not try to reschedule, because she may be too busy. You have to understand, once you get ghosted, that is the ultimate sign that I do not like you. But a lot of you guys are so desperate. Her communicating, telling you that she don't like you is good enough for you, all because she did communicate with you. You can't think like that. And the only reason why you are thinking like that is because you don't have confidence in yourself to get another woman. So now your life is surrounded by the drama between you and her that she's trying to push away. See, it becomes a big deal to you, but it becomes less of a deal to her. So there's no reason to reschedule. The flake and the rejection is a sign like, child, please stop. We are never going to be anything. You have to learn to accept that. So when you get flaked, no rescheduling. Move on. Next, last but not least, you cannot take any of this personal. And the reason why you can't take any of this personal is because you ain't learned the knowledge yet. There's a guy that same girl is going to come across that's going to do her bad. That's how it is. Most of these women out here that are treating guys bad at the beginning are going to end up with a guy that's going to treat them bad. So don't take it personal, because believe it or not, karma comes back around. And when karma comes back around on a woman, it hurts her worse. When karma comes back on a man, he normally can take the pain. Women cannot take the pain whenever karma comes back around on them. And karma comes back around on women all the time whenever it comes to men. Most girls that have dogged out a good guy ends up with a guy that dogs them completely out and do them bad, which is why guys will sit back and be like, how could you be with a guy that mistreats you? How the same thing that makes her cry is the same thing that makes her stay. These are the trials and tribulations that women want to go through in their life naturally. They want to go through the process of being hurt. They want to go through the process of being depressed. Women prefer to be depressed more than they are happy, which is why in life you see women majority of the time are angry. You may meet a woman, right, that you think is a very down-to-earth woman, right? But the more you're around her, the more you're like, you know what? She's a down-to-earth woman, but when it's just me and her, she's miserable a lot. She complains a lot. Her moods are all over the place, and then they switch back into something else whenever they get back in public. So don't take it personal, because women are on a whole nother planet than a man. So when it comes to this dating and it comes to this flaking, realize what goes around comes around. What you got to do is get to the knowledge. The woman will never seek the knowledge because she's living off emotions. And this is what you do and what you don't do after you get ghosted. This is Anthony Spade. Hasta la vista.